Hello everyone and welcome to the Genshin Impact Preludes series. This is a series all about the backstories of the playable characters in Genshin Impact. I will only be going into the stories on the character pages, so there may be potential story spoilers for some characters. This also means I won't be going into the manga or story unless their events are mentioned in the character stories. Anyways, today's video is all about Amber, so sit back and relax as I read you her stories. Amber is an Outrider of the Knights of Favonius. In an age where Outriders are becoming obsolete, she continues on with her responsibilities. It takes a newcomer only a few days to feel right at home with this passionate girl. Whether it's before the Good Hunter signboard, the banks of Cider Lake, or the treetops at Windrise, one can find traces of this vigilant Outrider in red anywhere. Once spotted by her, no suspicious individual can ever escape her interrogation. From a young age, Amber has always had boundless energy and a positive outlook on life. Each day, she burns with a fiery enthusiasm that sees her go about her life like a whirlwind, smashing through any obstacle that stands in her way. At times, however, her excessive energy can make her quite the troublemaker. Needless to say, she was quite a handful when she was young. Her infamous deeds include accidentally dropping a bird's nest on her grandpa's head while trying to steal the eggs from it, and setting a Dendroslime's leaves on fire, causing it to scurry about like a wild animal. These minor offenses gained her some notoriety among hunters' camps. Somehow, Amber was always able to escape the scene of the crime whenever she caused an incident, and not even a veteran Outrider could catch up with her. Invariably, it was Amber's grandpa who ended up on damage control duty each time his granddaughter's misbehavior caused yet another incident. To Amber, her grandpa's silent, unconditional love was like a warm breeze that wrapped around her like a blanket. She knew that it was because of this love that he accepted her and took responsibility for her deeds, and she embraced it silently. But it was only on the day her grandpa resigned from the Knights of Favonius that she finally understood the full extent of the responsibility he had borne all those years. Amber's grandpa was once the leader of a mercenary group. He came from Liyue Harbor and was tasked with protecting merchant caravans as they traversed Teyvat. One day, on a routine escort job, the caravan fell prey to a savage monster attack. He was the only survivor, saved by a doctor from the Knights of Favonius. Too ashamed to return home and anxious to repay the debt, Amber's grandpa joined the Knights of Favonius. Before long, he single-handedly founded the Outriders, trained each of them personally, and began leading them on missions. It also wasn't long before he found love in the foreign land of Mondstadt and founded a family. Years later, Amber was born into that family. During the day, she would crouch by the window and secretly watch him training the Outriders. At night, she would sneak into the yard and practice the moves he had taught that day. Amber's grandpa was touched by her enthusiasm and decided to teach her everything he knew. When Mondstadt accepted me, it became my homeland. Then I decided to watch over this new home of mine. Maybe one day, you will inherit this responsibility. But then, who knows what the future holds? As the coarse skin of her grandpa's palm rubbed against her head, a bewildered but earnest Amber nodded energetically in response. Something happened one day 4 years ago that profoundly changed Amber. That day, her grandpa left his coat of arms and sword in his office and simply disappeared, leaving no note and telling no one he was leaving. He had been the beating heart and the backbone of the Outrider division, and without his leadership, they rapidly became undisciplined and lost their edge. A few failed operations later, the Outrider division was facing obsolescence. In the end, it was preserved as a part of the Knights organization, but in name only. Experienced members either transferred to another detachment or resigned, and so few Outriders stayed that they simply did not have enough people to fulfill their daily patrol duties. On top of this, rumors that Amber's grandpa had defected made recovery even more difficult for the struggling Outrider division. Amber personally experienced this entire episode, having just been admitted to the Outriders before it all began. With the decline of her squad, she experienced true loss and disappointment for the first time in her life. No longer her carefree former self, she was filled with a new determination. She was going to grow up and become a true Outrider as quickly as possible, no matter what it took. She had never made an actual plan before, and lacked the maturity to know where to start. But what she did have was confidence and courage, and lots of it. She wanted to show she had inherited her grandpa's determination, and she wanted to find out where he had gone. But more importantly, she wanted to inherit her grandpa's former role and become a loyal protector of her homeland. Life in the Knights of Favonius was not easy for Amber in the beginning. Being as young as she was and having just lived through the trauma of losing her grandpa, the senior knights made a point of taking care of her. However, for a girl as desperate to excel as she was, being taken care of by others implied that she wasn't yet mature enough to stand on her own 2 feet. Accordingly, she voraciously sought out extra responsibilities and made this as visible as possible to her seniors. Finally, during an intense engagement with some monsters, the seniors noticed her bravery and resourcefulness in the heat of battle. That was the moment when they realized their little girl was growing up. As she matured, she also became more at ease with herself. Whatever feedback she was met with, be it praise, rebuke, silence, or taunting, her response was the same. For sure, I may still have a long way to go before I catch up with my seniors, but one day, I'm going to be the best Outrider ever. Amber is not prone to too much deliberation, preferring instead to speak her mind truthfully and frankly at every occasion. She firmly believes that she will not disappoint her grandpa. Today, Amber is still the firecracker she always was, burning with endless passion and energy. Now that she's all grown up, Amber holds firm to her grandpa's teaching as she spreads her wing glider's wings and watches over the City of Freedom with the eye of an eagle and the cautious cunning of a bunny rabbit. The Crimson Knight is known throughout Mondstadt. The people are delighted to see the mischievous little girl they remember growing up to be a guardian they can rely on. Never fear, Outrider Amber is here. Her self-confidence is simply unshakable. I am Outrider Amber, the one and only Outrider, which makes me the best one out there. Amber doesn't make writing a daily diary a habit, only electing to write special or memorable events in her journal. I finally caught that magical bird. It's called Rami something, I don't remember. But I've been chasing it for 3 days and I've only been able to sit down for a proper meal today. That magical bird was really a cunning one, burrowing in the thick forest like that. Good thing I didn't give up. Best of all, Master Jean gave me special permission to pluck a feather plume from it as a reward. I'll wear it at my side every single day. I'm sure I followed the cookbook to the letter and grilled the meat for 6 minutes, but while the outside is charred, the inside isn't cooked yet. Did I not control the heat properly? But I really am hungry, so I'll just have to try again tomorrow. One day, I'll make the best steak, and I'll call it the Outrider's Champion Steak. I met a strange Outlander today. I was suspicious at first, but as it turns out, this Outlander is both reliable and capable. Come to think of it, what would I do if an enemy that strong showed up? I mustn't fall behind. I must train harder. Amber once believed that if she took on her grandpa's post, she would understand why he left Mondstadt. However, even when she officially became an Outrider, she was no closer to unraveling the mystery behind his wordless departure. Her grandpa had left nothing for her to find either, indicating that she would have to forge her own path. Amber floundered for a while, until she flipped through an old book of fables that she would eventually come to treasure. What you lacked was not wind, but courage. It is courage that has allowed you to become the first flying birds of this world. Amber realized that she shouldn't wait for directions from someone else, but that she should be like those courageous birds that spread their wings and flew into the blue skies. There must be something that only I can do. There must be. The moment she realized this, a vision began to shine brightly at her hip. And those are all of Amber's stories. Of course her story continues in the game as well as in the manga, so I'd recommend taking a look at both of those. I'm also planning on making videos on those too, so stay tuned. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all in the next video.